I'm doing this video, and obviously I've got the camera wrong because you see the headline, but it says entire police department in Carolina town resigns, but this has nothing to do with it. The picture of the gentleman on this video is why I'm making it. So you're a person that worked with the former POTUS, and you can be hunted down by Congress, who's never prosecuted anybody else for ignoring their subpoenas, as far as I know. I don't think I've heard of any case, especially of a former administration official, being prosecuted. So in 3 days, they seat a jury in hell itself, in the swamp, and it takes, I think they said 4 men and 3 women or something. I don't care what the breakdown is, but they couldn't find one person on that whole jury pool that would hold out and say, you know what, this doesn't seem right. Only Satan could have arranged this, and only Satan's children could have carried it out. This should have never made it to trial, should have never been put in front of a jury. And now we have a situation where somebody who was in a former administration is going to jail. We don't know how long he's going to go to jail. We don't know when he'll be sentenced. We just know that because he's found guilty now, he can go to jail in D.C., which we've heard from people that are there on the ground as part of the current movement that's there. And a guy named Santa, they've already arrested him once, and he spent the night on a cold brick bed. So when are people going to wake up and realize, and I'm talking to all the Christians out there, God said he was going to let Satan rule for a period of time. And he said, you're not supposed to, you're pretty much, you're not going to be able to stop him. So I'm going to protect those Christians at home or in the place where he's created that you're safe. So I wouldn't go to DC for anything. I wouldn't fly there, drive there, ride a bike there. I would not go to DC for squat. You have no reason to go there unless you're part of, the swamp, which I don't want any part of it. But you're not going to be able to win. And poor Bannon, he's the only patriot apparently in D.C. besides the ones on the mall right now. But he's the only one that said, you know what, I don't have anything, bad to say about Trump. He still supports T-Man. So, I mean, very, very, very sad time, and I want to say in America, but daily it's becoming more of a situation where, is this really America? It's a semblance of it, but so many things have changed now. I feel sorry for this man. I don't care. He didn't do anything that, as far as I'm concerned, that's criminal. And Congress has subpoenaed they've created some really unethical, unconstitutional subpoenas. And he stepped up and said, "Look, I don't have anything that's going to help you guys." But they still convicted him. To me, that's anybody that gets served with jury duty notice in D.C. is corrupt, just as corrupt as everyone else that's in D.C. Except for the patriots that are trying to change things, that they won't be able to change it. Only Jesus can come here and fix D.C. I believe that in my soul. You don't have 100,000 Christians that are going to show up in D.C. And even if you did, you would have to come prepared to fight. And you've seen what that gets you. So, and they have other ones that are locked up, but that's a place you go to be locked up forever. But, I'm sure Bannon said, well, there's got to be, somebody that's not corrupt. And I'm going to take my chances. So he appeared. What's he going to do? Run out of country or something and skip, and then you'll have a warrant out for his arrest? I mean, you think that who's in charge of Congress doesn't matter? This is an example right here why it matters. Republicans had every opportunity to hold people in contempt, and they never did it. I don't know, I know McConnell was sitting there thinking, I don't want to be the bad guy. I don't want to, hold somebody in contempt. But, the jury would have found a different result had it been somebody from the other side that came in front of them. So there should never again be a court case allowed to take place in what I believe to be hell on earth, right there. So never again. All those judges, all the prosecutors, every one of them works for Satan. Because if they didn't, they'd be speaking up loudly right now, and I don't hear any peeps out of anyone from there. So if you're proud to wear the banner of Satan, God help you when Jesus comes back. You're going to want to learn what it's like, what you've been putting these other people from the other side through all these years. And some people I've heard say, well, I'm not going to bother voting next go around. Well, unless you live in a state where you're protected and your law, the Constitution is still followed, and you have legitimate constitutional judges and attorneys, and state laws, you're on a river paddling upstream. So I ask that everybody say a prayer for this man, because he's going to end up being put in there just like Santa was, probably on a concrete slab. They'll put him in a federal prison in solitary like they've done all the January 6th people, which I don't agree with going in there. Some of those folks that did the tearing up stuff and all that, they weren't part of the movement. They weren't part of the Trump crowd. but the Trump crowd got dragged into it, and each individual case should be looked at knowing that. Some people honestly thought they were doing the right thing. They were just going to protest. And then when people started going in the building, you know, but nobody knew it was going to turn into this where they lock people up before they're found guilty. They throw away the key and they hold them there. So short of the U.S. military coming in there and releasing the prisoners, that's the only way that's going to take place. So why would you want to be in that situation? Why would you even think about going there? It's not worth it. You know, I had an idea at one time. I'm going to go join them, and you know, I spent 2 days on the ground, and even at that time, they were already saying we're not going in there. So the original group didn't want to go into hell. And now I don't blame them. And they've already picked off 2 of their main people in this movement, and they both have jail terms hanging over their heads. So I don't know how to put this other than I beg every one of you Christian patriots to stay away from hell on earth. Don't even entertain it. You know, you want to do something to change things, do it in your local area. You know, help keep your state, if it's right now, if it's constitutional government and constitutional judges, help keep it that way. You know, you have smart children in your schools, you know, try and get them to look into going that route. You know, taking these jobs that'll help secure your state. But if we give the Satan side, if we give Satan side much more control, I mean, they're gonna, God knows what they'll do. They may take away all the states' rights, and then we got a real problem on our hands. You know, a lot of people, I'm sure that's going to be their judgment day, because, you know, you take everybody's freedoms away and watch how quick everything's going to deteriorate. We don't have to wait for somebody else to come here trying to take over. I mean, that'll happen just inside here. I love each and every one of you that's listening right now. Obviously, I told you I just started my channel, so I don't have any ways to donate. Don't want your money. You know, I don't want you to, you know, when I get to the point of having it where you can, you know, send things through the service I'm using, I don't want you to do that. Just sit, hopefully, and just listen and offer your comments. And once I'm in a position to have comments and answer them, I'll do that. But I just want to have my voice out there and my opinion on this gentleman on the screen right now. And I want everyone to realize he was snookered, just like all the other people that got charged under that administration. And they're working on it right now, trying to get T-Man locked up. Luckily, he has enough money to fight him right now, but I don't trust anyone in hell on earth. I really don't. Feel sorry for everyone that fell for their trap and went there, and everyone that puts faith in any word that comes out of any one of those people that works in that city. And I don't care what side of the aisle they're on, because none of them have stepped up and said a word about this man getting ready to go to jail. I mean, how do you do that? I'm going to leave you with this thought, so everybody, because a lot of people are on edge right now, I'm going to say something that my grandmother told me years ago. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. In other words, no cuss word, no nothing. If you don't let anybody's speech hurt your feelings and drive you into a position where you just can't stand it and you get angry, don't let it bother you. They're just words. It's not until somebody lays a hand on you. So I will repeat it one more time, and each time I end my show. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but names and words will never hurt me. God bless you.